From Delhi's failed rain experiment to Amazon's job cuts and a shaky ceasefire in Gaza. It's been a week of big swings. Even Bangalore's politicians are suddenly speaking the same language. Let's make sense of it all. Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint. I'm your host, Nelson John. This is your smart daily briefing on what matters. From big moves in business to headlines shaping India and the world, we cut through the noise so you start your day informed and ahead. It's Wednesday, October 29th. Let's get started. Delhi tried to make it rain on Tuesday. An IIT Kanpur aircraft flew over the capital firing silver iodide flares into the clouds, hoping to trigger rainfall that might wash away some of the pollution. It didn't work. The single-propeller Cessna plane fired 16 flares over areas like Burari, Mayur Vihar and Noida in two separate trials. No meaningful rain fell. Yet, Delhi's Environment Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa called the exercise successful, saying Delhi has taken an unprecedented science-first step to control air pollution. Here's the thing though. IIT Kanpur director Mahindra Agrawal admitted that the trials were not completely successful. He told NDTV that the moisture content in the clouds was only 10 to 15%. You need much higher moisture levels for cloud seeding to have any real chance of working. The government report claimed trace rainfall of 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters in Noida and Greater Noida. But amateur meteorologist Mr. Tiwari pointed out that these numbers came from Windy, a forecast model, not actual rain gauges. Official weather stations recorded zero precipitation. The report did show some reduction in PM 2.5 levels at a few locations, dropping from around 221 to 203 in areas like Mayur Vihar, Karol Bagh and Burari after seeding. The IIT report suggested that denser moisture from seeding might have helped settle some of the pollutants. Cost of this experiment, about 1.2 crore rupees for two trials. The total project's budget was about 3.21 crore rupees for 5 trials, making each attempt roughly about 64 lakh rupees. Opposition party AAP questioned why the government conducted trials on a day when the weather department already forecast natural rains. Scientists like IIT Delhi's Shehzad Ghani called it futile, saying cloud seeding cannot solve Delhi's air pollution crisis because it only works when rain-bearing clouds already exist. Residents in Burari saw cloudy skies but no drops. Something unusual happened in Bangalore's politics on Tuesday. BJP MP Tejasvi Surya sat down with Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar to talk about the city's controversial tunnel road project. And they actually agreed on things. Surya walked out calling the meeting cordial and meaningful. The two discussed ways to fix Bangalore's nightmare traffic situation, and Surya made his position clear. He wants the money earmarked for the car-only tunnel diverted to public transport instead. His argument is simple math. According to the government's own detailed project report, the proposed tunnel can move 1,800 vehicles per hour in one direction. But a metro line covering the same distance could transport 69,000 people in that same hour. The purpose of our policy should be to move more people, more passengers than moving more cars, Surya added. He is pushing for mass rapid transport systems instead of what he calls a short-term band-aid fix. Shivkumar spent an hour listening and proposed another meeting next week with Outer Ring Road industries and CEOs. He asked Surya to present his solution there. Surya also pitched specific ideas during the meeting. He wants loop buses running every 5 to 10 minutes between KR-Puram and Silk Board metro stations on the Outer Ring Road with a dedicated bus lane. He also requested the appointment of a chairman to the Bangalore Metropolitan Land Transport Authority, which coordinates between different transport agencies. Surya said he's grateful for the bipartisan approach and hopes it yields actual results. India just signed a deal with Russia that the West won't like. State-run Hindustan Aeronautics Limited will manufacture the SJ-100 civilian aircraft with Russia's United Aircraft Corporation. The timing matter. Russian President Vladimir Putin visits India in early December, and this deal comes weeks before that. It also comes as the US and Europe push India to cut Russian energy and defense purchases over Ukraine. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh called it a landmark step. The SJ-100 is a twin-engine aircraft carrying up to 100 passengers. Singh added that it will be the first complete passenger aircraft built in India since the Avro manufactured between 1961 and 1988. India needs over 200 regional jets in the next decade for domestic connectivity under the Udan scheme. Here's the sensitive part. UAC faces US, EU and British sanctions. The US Treasury calls it a key enterprise in Russia's military-industrial complex. India's response? It doesn't recognize unilateral sanctions and says it's being unfairly targeted. The fragile Gaza ceasefire is cracking just days after it began. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered powerful strikes in Gaza on Tuesday after Hamas allegedly fired on Israeli forces in southern Gaza. Israeli strikes hit areas near Shifa Hospital, Gaza's largest operational hospital in the north. At least 30 people were killed across multiple locations, according to Gaza's civil defense agency. Defense Minister Israel Katz warned Hamas would pay a heavy price. Israel will respond with great force, he said. What triggered this? Hamas had returned body parts of a hostage. Netanyahu called it a clear violation of the ceasefire agreement, which required Hamas to return all the seized hostages' remains as soon as possible. 13 hostages' remains are still missing. Hamas was preparing to hand over another hostage's remains, but said it would now delay the handover after Israel's strikes. The ceasefire came into effect on October 10th and mostly held despite two previous flare-ups. The stability now looks uncertain. Amazon is cutting 14,000 corporate jobs, and this is just the beginning. CEO Andy Jassy warned about this back in June, saying AI would replace human workers. Now, it's happening. The cuts hit multiple departments including logistics, payments, video games, and cloud computing. Beth Galati, Amazon's senior vice president for people experience, tried to explain the timing. Some may ask why we are reducing roles when the company is performing well. What we need to remember is that the world is changing quickly. This generation of AI is most transformative technology we've seen since the internet. She hinted at more cuts coming in 2026, saying Amazon will keep hiring in strategic areas while finding more places to remove layers and increase efficiency. The 14,000 job cut represents about 4% of Amazon's corporate workforce of 350,000 people. The company employs 1.5 million total, mostly warehouse workers. This is smaller than 27,000 layoffs Amazon did 3 years ago, but reports suggest the final number could reach 30,000. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.